besties, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time on this channel, thank you so much for stopping by. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do good by clicking on the subscribe button and subscribe immediately. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you could get notified whenever we post any tutorial. So on today's tutorial, we're going to be making this A-line dress. Is a kind of combo dress. It has two colors, but I'll be making use of red and pink for mine. But my red is 3 yards, while my pink is 2 yards. Yeah. But if you're on the small size, I think you should make use of 2 yards each for each color. So that's it. So for this dress, the red has the bigger parts, while the pink has the smaller parts. And I'm not going to be cutting on my fabric. I'm going to be making use of our pattern paper first before transferring to this actual fabric. So if this is what you're interested in, you would like to watch this video. So without wasting much of your time, let's get into the tutorial. Pattern is for those that have been following my channel, you will know that this is what I do whenever I want to cut whenever we're about to make any tutorial. So I'm going to be explaining for the newbies. So what I did here is I labeled here shoulder line, chest line, bust points, hip points, and that's my full length, which is the exact length of this pattern paper. We're not going to be having our waist point because, like I said, we are making an A-line free dress. So you're going to be wondering why I labeled this. So I labeled this back front. This is the back neckline. This is the front neckline. So I'm going to be using this pattern paper to cut both the back and the front of this dress. So you'd like to pay close attention. So I drafted out our basic body. So I'm going to be explaining. From here to here, I took my shoulder measurement divided by 2. My shoulder measurement divided by 2 is 9. I marked it here. Then from here, I took my armhole, which is also 9 inches. And to get your armhole measurements, what you have to do is to divide your bust into 6. Whatever you get, you're going to be adding 1.5 inch to it. So that is how I got my armhole, which I labeled here. And I marked a straight line, which is serving as our chest line. So I went down from this shoulder point by 1 inch for our shoulder slope. So I slanted it into this neckline. The measurement for the neck is, for the neck width, I used 3 inches, and for the neck depth for the front, I used 3 inches as well. Then for the back, 3 inches width as well, and 1.5 inch for the neck depth. That is why I labeled back and front, because we're going to be cutting both the front dress and the back dress with this exact pattern. So I went down from this, our shoulder line, which is also serving as our starting point. I got my bust point, which is 11, and I marked a straight line. From our starting point again, I placed my tape and I got my hip line, which is my hip point is 27. Then from that place, I went down to the length of my dress, which is the length of this pattern paper is 36, and which is also the length I'm going to be using. Though when cutting on the actual fabric, I'm going to be adding like 2 inches allowance for folding allowance for that. So what we're going to be doing now is to take our basic body measurements. So for my bust, I've already taken my shoulder measurements and I came down by 1 for the shoulder slope. I connected it. I took my armhole, which is 9, and I've connected it. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is to take my bust measurements. My bust measurements divided by 4 is going to give me 11. And I'm going to be adding extra 1 inch sewing allowance, which is 12. Then for my and I'm also going to connect that to this point. So I'll be marking a straight line. You can use your free hand if you want, but I want this line straight so you guys will see what I'm doing. So what I'll do now is to divide what I have at the armhole area, which is 8 divided by 2, which is 4. So I'm going to be marking that 4 here, and I'll be coming out by half an inch for our shoulder sleeve. So what I'll be doing is I'm going to be marking a straight line. I'm going to be marking a straight line to that half inch I came down by, and from there I'm going to be connecting a curve line. Sorry guys, I'm going to be connecting a curve line to the measurements I got for my bust measurement, which is something like this. So I'm just going to blend it in. So I'm just going to be blending it in. I'm trying to make the line visible for you guys. So this is it. So the next thing I'm going to be taking is our hip measurements. So for the hip, my hip divided by, I don't know if you guys are seeing what I'm doing. Okay, let me come to the other side. My hip divided by 4 is 13 and a half. 13 and a half, which is here. So I'm going to be adding, because I'm on the big side and I want this dress to be a line, I'm going to be adding extra 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to be adding extra 4.5 inch, which is somewhere here. And whatever I get from this hip line, I'm going to be marking it as well on the length of the dress, which is 13 and a half, 1, 2, 3, 4.5. So I'm going to be adding 1.5 again for it, or 1. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to use my ruler now to connect this line. So guys, the next thing I'm going to be doing now is to cut out the body measurement. So this is it. Please don't forget, I forgot to say something. When you want to cut your pattern paper, make sure, because if you watch this part, you're going to see I sellotaped it into 2, so that it's going to give me 2 fabric. It's going to be enough for the A line I want to make use of. So when you want to do yours, you're going to add 2 pattern paper together and sellotape the side just like this, so it's going to look like a fabric when you open it up. Because if you're folding just the one fabric, you're not going to get what you want. So I advise you fold the 2 fabric before doing anything you want to do. So what I'll be doing now is I'm going to be opening up this pattern paper to modify what I want to use it for. This table is not that wide, but I'm trying to manage it so you guys will see what I'm doing. I don't know if you guys are seeing what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do now is from this part of the shoulder, I have opened my pattern paper already. So from this part of the shoulder, I'm going to be coming down by 2 inch. I'm going to be coming down. I came down by 2 inch, and I'm going to come down from here. Let me hold it. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm doing, but I pray you do. Then from the full length, I'm going to be coming up by 4, which is here. So I'm going to be dividing it like this, straight to the 2 inch I got for here. So the 2 inch I got for this part. I don't know if you guys are seeing what I'm doing. I'm going to be slanting it down to this 4-inch I got here. So I'm going to be using my ruler to do that. When I'm done, I'm going to show you what I did. This table is not that wide, so I'm trying to make sure you see what I'm doing. I got the slanted parts. I slanted it all the way to the 4-inch, all the way to the 2-inch I came down by. From the shoulder, I came down by 2. From the full length, I came up by 4. So that is what I did here. So I'm going to cut it out and show you how the pattern is going to be. So what I'm going to do now, before cutting it out, I'm going to be labeling. This big side is going to be for the red, while this small side is going to be for the pink. So I'm going to go ahead to cut it out now. So as you can see, I'm done cutting it. And note, we haven't cut the neck part. When you get to that area, I'm going to tell you the reason why I haven't cut the neck area. So this is for the pink. This is for the pink. While this is for the red. So we are going to be cutting on our actual fabric now. So guys, this is it. This is why I labeled it the red, so I don't get confused. So I'm going to go ahead now to cut it. So watch me as I do so. So guys, cutting of the pink, like I said, the red is for the this part of the red is for the front, then the pink is going to be for the back. So but always note, when cutting, if you're the type that when you buy fabric and you always find it difficult to indicate the front and the back, make sure before cutting, make sure you indicate the back by marking use your chalk to mark just a rough edge, something you remember the back for. So as you can see, the pink has no front and back, so I just had to mark this to indicate, but I didn't mark on the red because the red I can indicate the front to the back. So I'm just going to go ahead to cut. So I'm going to be cutting for the back, for the front with this. So I'm just going to go ahead to trace it. So guys, I'm going to be using the front pink to cut the back red. So I'm going to just range it like so before cutting it out. So this is it. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to cut the neck, because you guys know I haven't cut the neck. So this pink is for the front, while the red is for the back. So I'm going to set the front aside and use my pattern paper to cut the neck. So for the back neck, I'm going to be placing my pattern paper to cut the back neck. So guys, watch what I'm doing. Sorry guys, I made a mistake. I was supposed to put it together like this when cutting. Sorry. So I'm going to place my red back to make it right. I was supposed to fold it before cutting. So I'm just going to put it to make it right. Hope you guys understand. I was supposed to fold the pattern before cutting the neck. So let's do that. So I'm going to be cutting it again. So I'm just trying to arrange it properly, just this way. So what I'm going to do is just to follow this part and slant it all the way into, as you can see. So this is it for the back neck. So I'm going to be cutting the front. just want to place it properly. My table is quite small. I can't cut. The big table is outside. I can't go outside. So I'm just trying to make use of what I have inside. So I'm placing it on the pink, like so. I'm just trying to arrange it, guys. I'm trying to arrange it. So I'm going to be cutting the front neck. This outfit is actually not going to have a zip. It's going to have a button at the back. It's going to have a button at the back neck. So this is it for the front neckline. So we are not making use of this pattern paper again. So one thing you have to know is when cutting your pattern paper, one thing pattern paper is good for is after cutting, you can actually fold it and keep somewhere. When someone at that actual size comes, you don't have to go to draft out patterns for it. You just have to place your pattern on your fabric and cut it out. So whenever you're done with your pattern, always fold and keep properly for next time. So what I'll be doing now is I'm going to be showing you how this will look like before cutting the sleeves. So guys, as you can see, I've placed both. You can see the red and you can see after placing it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, please don't mind, I'm cutting on the table and on the floor. Why I'm on the floor is so you can see how it is. So what I'm going to do now is to go to my sewing machine, face the front to the front like this. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm trying to do. Face the front to the front like this. And I'm going to go ahead. Sorry guys, let me just make it properly. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to sew here down. After sewing, when I open it, we're going to have something like this. I don't know if you guys understand it, but let me go and sew it so you guys see. So I'll do this for the front. This is for the front, and I'll also do the same thing for the back. For the back, when I'm done, I'm going to show you how it looks like. So let me go to my sewing machine and sew it. My bisect is 18, so divided by 2, I'm going to be having 9. Well, I'm going to be adding 2-inch sewing allowance for this, so I'm going to be marking somewhere around 11. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to connect from this part. I'm going to make a up curve and a down curve connecting to this part. So I'm going to be using my ruler to do that. Then I'm going to be doing connecting all the way to this end, to this point. So this is it for the sleeves. I've gone ahead to cut the sleeves. So what I'm going to do, if you're confused on how to cut a sleeve, I have on my channel, you can go to my channel and search through and you're going to see how to cut a basic sleeve. So what I'm going to be doing is to just mark a straight line. I'm going to be marking a straight line. Later, I'm going to tell you
Besties, if you've watched to this extent and you're still yet to subscribe to this channel, please do that by clicking on the subscribe button, and let's get right back into the video. Thank you.
So guys, this is I'm going to be cutting the sleeves now. As you can see, this is the reason why I separated the hand. You can go ahead and cut it together with your pattern paper, but to avoid wasting of my pattern paper, I decided to cut my exact sleeve measurements. Then I slitted it like this, and I'm going to separate it. The wider you separate it, the bigger the hand of the sleeve is going to be. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut it now. So guys, this is it for one part of our sleeve. This is just one part of our sleeve because it's going to be a 2 color. So this is just one part of our sleeve. What I'm going to do now is going to
I'm going to sew it. I'm going to connect it down by sewing it all together to this place. Then I'm going to be using this. After sewing it, I'm going to be using this to cut the other sleeves. So I'm going to go ahead to my sewing machine and stitch it all down. I'm going to stitch it down, and when I turn it, I'm going to have something like this. So after that, I'm going to use it to cut the other sleeve. So guys, the next thing I'm going to do, I've gone ahead to stitch that first. I'm gonna have to stitch that first sleeve I cut. So this is it. I just pinched it a little bit down, and I'm going to be folding it like so. When I fold it like this, you're going to see it. So this is one of our sleeves. This is going to serve as one of our sleeve. You know, it has a band down. So after cutting this, so I'm going to pleat this place. But first of all, let's cut the other sleeve. So I folded, as you can see, I folded the two colors into two like so. So I'm going to be folding this back into the wrong side, and I'm going to be cutting my sleeve. After which I'm going to notch this place, and I'm also going to notch this place. And I'm equally going to sew, after cutting this, I'm equally going to sew it the way I stitched this down. So let's go ahead and cut it, guys. So this is it. So I'm going to set this aside, then go to my machine and stitch this down. I'm going to turn it the right side facing each other and stitch it down. Then I'm going to cut the band for the sleeves. So guys, this is the band I'm going to be attaching, one red, one pink, and I've gone ahead to join my two sleeves together. As you can see, this is my two sleeves. Yeah, these are my two sleeves. So I went ahead to make a stitch, a loose stitch. So I'm going to just draw that. I'm just going to use one of the threads to draw it like this. So I'm going to be drawing like to make a pleat. I'm going to do that off camera. I'm just going to show you what I'm just showing you what I will do. I'm just going to draw it like this to make a pleat. I don't know if you guys understand. I'm going to make a pleat. Then I'm going to be joining it to this band. Then this is the body of my dress. Let me set this aside so you can see it properly. So this is the body of my dress after joining. As you can see, this is it. This is where I joined. When joining, just join using 1/2 inch all the way down. So this is it. If I turn it the other way, this is what you're going to have. Our dress is almost ready. So what you're going to do is fold it like this, each armhole meeting each other. As you can see, I don't have any excess on my parts. When I range it, you see I don't have any access on my any fabric left outside. But if when you're done sewing yours and you find out that there is fabric remaining, excess fabric, you're just going to use your scissors to cut it out to get your equal shoulder. So this is this is the front, and this is the back. This is the front, and this is the back. Are you guys seeing it? This is the front, this is the back. So if I go ahead to join it together, I'm going to flip it right side facing each other. So I'll go to my sewing machine to sew the shoulder together, sew the shoulder here, sew the shoulder here. Then I'm going to use my piping bias. I'm going to use my turning bias to pipe it down and pipe the front too. So after which I'm going to be fixing my band. Then I will come and show you how it looks like. So guys, the next thing we are going to do now, we'll be working on the back. This is the back. So I'm going to be, I said this is not going to be having a zip. The dress is not going to be having a zip. It's going to be having it open at the back for the button. So I'm just going to align it, the shoulder. This is the back, not the front. Please pay attention. This is the back, not the front. So I just aligned it properly like this. So the next thing I'm going to do is to determine how open I want my back to be. So I'm going to be using my tape for that. From here to this place, I think 6 is perfect. So I'm going to be marking it 6. I'm going to be marking that 6, and I'm going to be opening. I'm going to make an open down there, just like this. So when I open it, it's going to look like this. Remember, this is the back. When I open it, it's going to look like this. So I gone ahead to cut out the facing. I did something because I know this should be perfect for me. So what I'm going to do is to place it like this. I'm going to cut this down more. So I'm going to be placing it like this, facing each other. Then I'm going to make a loop, something like a loop where my button is going to pass. So I'm going to make it 2, 2. So I'm going to be cutting that, and I'm going to be folding it like this, just like a loop, like this. Then I'm going to put it inside, just like this, and I'm going to make a stitch down and come up again like this. So let's go and do it. I'll show you how it looks when I'm done. So guys, I've gone ahead to use that turning to sew this. From here, I stitched it down round, and when I'm going to, after sewing, I'm going to use my aiming gum to aim it inside. So when I turn it inside, this is what I'm going to have. So I use the pink bias for this to make a loop. So after turning it, this is how it's going to look. I'm going to use my aiming gum later to aim the back. So it's going to relax like this. Yeah, I'm going to do that later. And when I'm done, I'll show you how it looks on my body. So this is it. And this is the loop I made. So from this loop, I'm going to be putting a button here for the back. So what I'm going to do now is to use my bias to pipe the neck. I'm going to use my bias, turn it inside like this. I'm going to use it to pipe the neck. I'm going to use my bias to pipe the neck just like this. I'm going to sew it all around till I get to the other neck part. And I'm equally going to do same thing for the front. So when I'm done, I'm going to go ahead to fix my sleeve, and I'll show you guys how it looks. So guys, for the pocket area, I've gone ahead to join the sleeves of my dress. Like I said, I'm going to be aiming this part down. I'm going to aim that when I'm done with the tutorial about the pocket and everything. So the next thing we're going to do now is to fix the pocket. So you can see, I don't know if you can see these 2 notched parts. So what I did for my pocket is from the shoulder, from the armhole, I came down by 6.5, and I notched. Then from that notched part to this notched part is 6.5. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to head to cut my pockets. Sorry, I didn't show you how I cut the pockets because this is not a tutorial of how to cut the pocket. So I'm going to head to cut my pocket. So what I did here, I also did for the other parts. I took from the armhole down 6.5. You can do yours more, 6.5. Then from this other notch part, I came down by 6.5 as well. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be sewing the pink to the pink like this. I'm equally going to be sewing like the pink to the pink, the pink to the pink, and the red to the red. I don't know if you guys understand. So the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to be joining. I'm going to flip it to the other side, just like this. And I'm going to be joining from here. I don't know if you guys, from this notched part, I'm going to sew, like I'm going to join it from here to this place. I'm going to stop here. I'm going to be stopping here, and I'm also going to do same thing to this part. I'm going to flip to the right side and sew to, I'm equally going to do same thing for the other side of the sleeve. When I'm done, I'm going to show you how it looks like. So guys, as you can see, I've gone ahead to fix the pockets, the red to the red, the red to the red, the pink to the pink. I did that at the other side too. Like I said before, this table is not that wide. So I'm going to be showing you on this one side, but whatever you see I do on this side is what you're equally going to do on the other side. So what you're going to do is you're going to sew from the armpit to this place. You're going to stop, then you come down from this notch end, from this part, this notch end ended, then you sew from here also down. So you're not stitching here, because here is the opening where you're going to put your hands. So what you're going to do, I repeat, from your armpits, your armhole, you sew down to this notched part. This notched part, you leave this place. You start from this other notch part and sew down. So when you're done, what you're going to do is to, this is the back of our dress. You're just going to sew from here round, sew from here round. That's so you're equally. So guys, this is the outcome of the dress. As you can see, the dress is pretty good. Like it came out pretty good. The two colors I used, the combo I used on this dress is amazing. So for the fabric, the name of the fabric is crepe. I used a thick crepe. It's very thick and very stretchy. You can use a scuba fabric or a poly fabric for yours, whichever way one you want to use. But I will advise whatever fabric you're using, make sure it's very thick, so it will give you that classy and Oga wives look. You can tell on this video that I am very happy rocking this outfit. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel, I don't know what you're still waiting for. Please, I beg you in the name of God, subscribe. Don't forget to like, share this video, and turn on the notification bell so you could get notified whenever we post any new video. See you on my next one. Bye.